Hello and welcome to the All Things Arsenal podcast. I'll be talking about all things Arsenal. So this particular podcast has been a bit delayed, if I'm being honest. I've had a few chances to do this podcast and just thought to myself, do you know what? Honestly, I cannot be bothered to do a podcast on Arsenal. And I'll be completely honest, I was on my way to Norfolk the other day when we were playing against Manchester City in the early kickoff in the Premier League. On the way there, I had the game on my phone. The connection there wasn't brilliant, so when I was watching the game, it was kind of okay for a moment, and then the next moment, it would be all fuzzy on the screen, and I'd have to reload the page, and then the screen would be okay again, and then it would go fuzzy again. And obviously, we actually made a decent start in the first 5 minutes. First 5 minutes, we looked quite sharp, but then Man City scored from a cross, and then 5 minutes later, I don't know what happened with our defence, but they went 2-0 up. And on my phone, the screen just kept going fuzzy, and then you're kind of having to work hard to keep the screen watchable. And I just thought to myself, you know what? It's not even worth it. It's not even worth me reloading the page over and over again to watch this nonsense. Because it was just nonsense watching that pathetic performance on Saturday. Absolute joke. I mean, who coaches these players? The defence, I have not seen a defensive calamity like that in a long time. The whole defence just fell apart. Callum Chambers is just not good enough to be an Arsenal player. Rob Holding is nothing more than a squad player. Kolasinac, what the hell is he still doing at the club? Why is he playing ahead of Tavares? It just doesn't make sense. It just doesn't. Why has Mikel Arteta selected Kolasinac, who was meant to be out the door, ahead of Pablo Mari, a signing he made, ahead of Tavares, a signing that he made? It just doesn't make sense. What is it? What is Arteta doing? Does he want to be sacked? What's he playing at? Why is he? And another thing as well, in midfield, we had Lokonga, who, we've had a really bad start, but I think he's been like a little shining light in the first 2 games we had. I thought he did some decent passes. He's quite composed on the ball. I thought he's looked quite a decent player from what I've seen. And then all of a sudden, he just gets left out completely. He's not in the team. I just think, what's he done wrong to be dropped from the team? It just doesn't make sense. I just don't understand what is going on. The performances are terrible. The manager just doesn't look like he knows what he's doing. His team selections, I just don't know why he's making some of the decisions he's making. I'm just completely baffled by what is going on at the moment. Nothing makes sense anymore. I looked the first 3 games, Brentford away, they're newly promoted, away on a Friday night. Do you know what? Sometimes it can happen. You can just get beat. It happens. Chelsea at home, they're the Champions League champions. They're going to be a tough nut to crack for any Premier League side this season. Manchester City away from home, they're the current Premier League champions. Of course, again, not a lot of teams are going to be able to compete with Manchester City. And if we'd lost those 3 games, but we were competitive, so if we lost, 2-1 to Brentford but made a good go of it, lost 2-1 to Chelsea but made a good go of it, lost 2-0 or 3-1 City, just gave a little bit of fight, you'd be annoyed at losing the 3 games, but you think, you know what, I can see what we're trying to do, we just got a bit unlucky here and there, we did fight, but there's just nothing. There's nothing, no direction. I don't see. It's the manner of the defeats. I just can't see what we're trying to do. There's no identity. We're just getting beaten left, right and centre. We're getting bullied. I don't know what we're trying to do anymore. I'm lost. I feel completely lost as a fan watching this team, and it's, in the past we've been known to have defensive frailties, but you could say, do you know what, we have defensive frailties, but we've got a really good attack. We score goals. We're quite fluid when we're attacking. We're passing the ball. We patient build up, waiting for openings. I don't know what the hell is going on with this team. Like, I don't know what we're trying to do. I don't know how we're meant to be playing. Just nothing makes sense to me at the moment, and that's the most worrying thing. I'm surprised Arteta's still got a job. I don't know why he's not been sacked yet. It just doesn't make sense. We're rock bottom of the Premier League with a -9 goal difference. We haven't scored a goal yet. I just don't understand why he's still got a job and why Edu's still got a job. I just don't understand. And looking at our next 3 games, I believe we have Norwich at home, followed by Burnley away, and then we've got Spurs in the North London derby. It's apparent that Arteta's probably going to keep his job over the international break. I mean, if he was going to be sacked, he probably would have been sacked by now, I would have thought. But you just think to yourself, like I said, the first 3 games, they weren't easy games. We lost all 3, but again, it was the manner of the defeat that really concerned me. You look at Norwich at home, and Norwich at home for me, the Norwich are probably the worst team on paper in the Premier League. And I just think to myself, if we lose that game at home to Norwich, and then if we lose to Burnley away, which could happen, Burnley are a decent team. Do you know what? Forget Burnley away. If we lose to Norwich at home, I'm really going to start to panic. I mean, I will really start to panic, because then you're looking at 4 losses out of 4. We lost to the worst team on paper in the Premier League. And then you just think to yourself, how much longer are we going to let Arteta be the manager for? Honestly, it could get really... I mean, I thought last season was as bad as it gets. It could get worse. And I'm scared. I'm scared. Disheartened. And just... I'm not even angry anymore. I'm upset. I'm really upset as a fan as to where my football club is right now. I'm past being angry. I'm past ranting. Well, I know I had a little bit of a rant earlier about the team, but I feel lost. And again, I'm more upset than angry. I'm just really upset as to where Arsenal Football Club is right now. I don't know where we go from here. I feel like the only way to go is to sack Arteta, sack Edu, and get a new manager in, a new transfer negotiator in. But when you've got a board that ultimately doesn't really care, they could just quite easily just let this carry on until who knows what might happen. I just don't know where we go from here, but we'll have to wait and see what happens, I guess. Thank you so much for listening to this podcast. It feels like the international break has come at a really good time. Please subscribe, like, comment, and I'm looking to release more content after the international break. Hopefully content that'll be better than this. I don't want to be upset all the time. I really want Arsenal to get back to the good days.